Okay, David. What we'll do is we'll do a simulation of some of the hazard perception clips. I'll do it for you, and because the internet connection won't allow it usually to give you a very accurate response, and that means when you're clicking, it might not register at the right time, and you get a false impression of it. So I'll do a couple for you, and then hopefully you get the idea of
Okay.
what you're looking for, but also how to click, because the clicking part is where I think most people go wrong. They either don't click enough or they do what's known as repetitive clicking, which is clicking rapidly.
The way I was taught was doing it was when you see the hazard coming up, click like every couple of seconds for 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
So when you see it, just do a couple. Literally, when you know it's coming up.
Yeah, that's really what happens. The thing about it is you don't know how many clips hazards are actually in the video you're watching. You could have 5, 7, 8 hazards. So I mean, technically, first of all, everything in driving when it's moving, I would think is a hazard. If it's moving towards you or moving round about you. But what they're actually trying to find out is it something that is a hazard, yes, but is it now developing from what is an ordinary hazard, if you like, to something that could cause you some trouble and you could cause them trouble. So it's kind of like everything's a hazard in driving nearly, but what they're going to mark you on is something that's developing from an ordinary hazard to something that's actually dangerous. So that's the problem with it. So I'm going to just fire the program up for you now.
Okay.
You have two different. Sorry, you probably can't see this at the moment. Let me just. Takes me out whenever I reset it. Yeah, I'll just share this with you.
Okay.
All right. Can you see that now? Okay. Okay. Happy days. Okay, so basically, you have two different types of clip. You can get a CGI mock test, which is basically the computer generated images, and they're quite easy actually. They're not any trouble at all. I mean, you can get anything from snow to water on the road to people walking in front of you. I think sometimes the harder ones are the ones I'm going to show you now, which are basically a bit faster, but they will highlight how you click the mouse better, I think, than the CGI mock tests. So for that reason, I'll do that to you. I'll show you the mock tests which involve the faster clips. So here you see the video starting on a motorway.
Okay.
The first thing I'll tell you is we got to be careful for vehicles that slow down quickly in front of us or vehicles emerging from the left or right. So this guy, for example, if we look at his space in the wheels and we see him starting to come over towards a white line, we click. Now I've noticed this sign on the left, which indicates we're going to get traffic from the left. Now I'm looking here now and here, but looking here for the emerging traffic, and I can see away in the distance this lorry. See it?
Yeah.
So that's a hazard, and it's developing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, still a hazard because of the indicator on the left car. 8, 9, and you see I've actually clicked 9 times there. Did you notice that the red flags at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
So I did that because that continued to be a hazard throughout, because the car that was on the left lane kept the indicator on, and guess what? They just pulled it in front of us, really. So there was 2 hazards there. I don't know which one they marked us on just yet, but let's just see. The score was 3 out of 5. So the reason why it was a 3 is because when I was explaining it to you and I put the arrow onto the car that was emerging from the left, that's when I actually needed to click the mouse. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
So I waited a wee bit longer because I was explaining it to you. So let me just show you now. So as we come down, you can see the diagram indicates all my clicks of the mouse. So they were evenly spaced, if you noticed as well.
Yeah. There
was none like did. They were like 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, of a gap. So there was nothing. So let's just pause it to show you where the actual hazard became something I should have really noticed. And this is it here. Now, I'd already been given a warning that there was traffic going to emerge from the left.
Mm-hmm.
So now as we come along, it becomes more obvious. But as it becomes more obvious, the less score you get.
Yeah.
So you see the window now below has changed from you were getting the 5 if you had got it very early, which is nearly impossible, by the way, because you need to be really on the ball there. The first thing, of course, was the emerging from the left sign, which should have told you were going to get something. So you could have preempted that and started clicking a little bit earlier, but again, it's very difficult. So there you can see definitely 3, and I noticed something moving here. I was explaining to you what I was watching for. So to get the 5, I would need to have been clicking from way back here, which seems nearly impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just see where we go. So 3s are good enough for your test. That's all you're after. And the driving instructor test, it's a little bit higher than that. And lorry tests are a bit higher as well. But for this one, so you see I kept clicking here. And if you notice the gap, the reason why is because the vehicle was still signaling and they definitely moved. And so that could have possibly been another hazard, couldn't it?
Yeah.
If they wanted to score me in 2 clips. So are you happy enough with that one, or would you like me to explain that a bit further, or do you know where the scoring take place there?
I think I'm happy enough with it.
All right, okay, let's finish this review then, and we'll try another one. So this one I can see straight away, it's a cloudy day, so on a country road, just an ordinary 2-way traffic road, but I notice these white lines indicate hazards, see? Because there's a very little gap between the white lines. So I'm going to think in bends, possible problems. So pedestrian or cyclist on the other side, not a big drama for me. And now I'm looking as far ahead as I possibly can for cyclists, for people on the road, for brake lights or indicators. So any of those would cause me to start clicking the mouse. Anything like that at all. So there's a little dark shadow in the corner. If you see anything here, or you see a junction to the right and you see something moving. So I like to call this, there's a wee warning sign of a bend to the left. That doesn't necessarily mean I should click. I'll click now, 1, 2, because this indicator came on in this car, you see?
Yeah.
And that meant he was slowing down. So I was a little bit slow there doing that because I was talking about it. So looking here, parked car on the right, maybe. No, just click once. This one here, 1, 2, 3, and there's no hazard anymore. So I'll just stop clicking. So because I saw something up ahead, it looked as if it could be a junction or something. So let's just show you where I went wrong here so you can understand exactly what went wrong. Review the clip. And as we come up to the hazard, we're going to stop it about here. And I'm going to pause it now. Now, I don't know where your screen's dark or not, and you can see this, but it's quite really difficult to see.
Yeah.
But this vehicle has an indicator on right now.
All right. It's hard to see that.
Well, what I'm saying to you is you have to be aware that the vehicle in front, now don't get me wrong, the clips will be better than this on your test, so don't panic too much. But it gives you a good illustration of it. So let's have a look as we come forward. Now you tell me now when you see the indicator coming on.
About there.
Okay, good. So by seeing it then, you understand then that's when you should have started clicking the mouse. And if you come right down to here, where I did, and didn't do anything, waited till I got to about here, and then I decided to click, even though it was obvious the brake lights were on, the vehicle was starting to slow, it's too late. And for that reason, I don't get any points. And that's why it can happen, I'm afraid. But the clips won't be as bad as that. You'll see a lot earlier than that. But that's giving you a good example of how it can go wrong for you. Let's have a look at another one. Okay, this time you're starting in a busy area with traffic, and you've got sort of chevrons in the middle telling you that they're separating the traffic. You've got junctions on your left, and you've got junctions on your right. So what we're looking for is anything that will cause us to slow down or change direction. So brake lights, people walking on the road, pedestrian here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, 6 on the brake lights, 7 on the brake lights. See the brake lights? So 8 on the brake lights, 9 on the brake lights. Okay, it's not causing me too much trouble now, so I'll stop clicking. So because we're stopped, there's no need to click anymore, you see.
Yeah.
Looking both ways as we come through the junction, looking for pedestrians again, looking for anything that causes us to slow down, looking for brake lights, traffic emerging from the left or right, up looking into this corner here for any problems. This time we got a 4, so let's have a look to see where we went. I'd imagine it's the pedestrian cutting across the road. Again, very, very hard to spot. Okay, so this will be a quick look at it. Again, the videos will be better for you when you do your real test. I'm sure you realize that already. So at this point, I'm sort of scanning ahead and see the sun's in our eyes, obviously. But you see this little dark figure here, look.
Yeah.
Very hard to spot. And in a driving examiner or driving instructor test, you would be expected to spot that one, but not on your test. You don't need to get 5s or 4s. You're happy enough to get 3s and 2s. You know, you can get the odd 0, but you don't want to get too many of them. But this one here, you can see this like a dark shadow. Now that could be on a country road, it could be anything. So let's release it now, and it's still there. It looks like it's a pedestrian waiting to cross the road to me, so that's why I clicked. And of course, he's not got much care for his life, especially if that was a learner driver coming towards him. And I kept clicking throughout because of the brake lights, and yeah, because there was still a hazard because it was slowing down in front of us. I didn't know what it was going to do. And there you go. What do you think?
Yeah. It's
So just to reiterate on it, the clips will be better than that, and you won't be expected to have X-ray vision. So some of this training material is quite bad, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what you're looking for. Yeah, it should give you an idea of it at least. But like, you just watch the spacing and the clicks. That's important, that you don't click too quickly together, but you space them out when you're clicking, and look for anything like brake lights or indicators or cars pulling in front of you, or of course pedestrians or animals, and bad weather like today, for example, outside, large reservoirs of water or anything like that. So let's give you a good mix of clips. All right, my man. That's good. Any questions about hazard perception test?
not really, no.